Hello, hello. Welcome to today's video. We are starting Vlogmas today. This is day one. We're doing a video a day for the month of December. So I hope you enjoy all of the content that we're going to be sharing just as a celebration of being here on YouTube. I love you all so much and thank you for watching. Today, we are going to talk about the top three biggest struggles that people usually have when they are moving over to a raw diet. Thank you again so much for joining me today for this video. Very excited to share. These are some of the top observations that I've made over the last decade being a raw vegan, and I hope that they can help you. I'm going to offer a couple tips and suggestions along the way. But before we begin, don't forget to check out the Raw Food Romance online community. It's so much fun over there. We're doing monthly challenges, monthly raw food classes, grow alongs. There's lots of connection, like minds, and accountability in there too. Like I said, we've been having a blast. So hope you join. There's lots of recipes in there as well. And if you're looking for support, this is the place to be. You can also get 40% off any or all of our raw vegan recipe ebooks with code RAWFOOD40. So grab that as well if you're interested in any of our ebooks. They're all there for you. The wraps, the burgers, the soups, the tacos, all the goodies are there in our ebook store. So let's chat about the top three things that I've noticed and observed over the last decade as being the top challenges when people are moving over to a raw diet. So there are many, many, many different challenges, and we're all different. We're all going to go through different things and have different reasons why it's challenging. But there are three that keep coming up over and over again. The first one is lack of planning. Now, this is a very simple thing to remedy. It's just getting into the habit of doing it and scheduling yourself into the day. That's the hard part. So when we don't plan our day, we end up just winging it or doing our best, which is totally fine. But if we really want to make change in our life, we have to start planning our day and scheduling ourselves in. This is the biggest challenge. So what I like to recommend and what I did in the past was to get a notepad and before bed every night, write down what you're going to have for breakfast, snacks, lunch, and dinner. Write it down. Studies show that if you write down your goals, you're more likely to do them. So write them down and check out the recipes. If you're trying a new recipe or if it's an old favorite, write down the recipe. And so that you know what you might need for it, or take screenshots of the recipes from ebooks that you might have and get prepared. That's the first thing, is you want to write it down. Then I would say probably more important than the planning is scheduling it in. Because if you just plan and you don't have the time, how are you going to act on the plan? So after you write down what you're going to have, think about what kind of prep work you're going to need to do. Like, do you have to wake up earlier to get your lunch dressing blended? Do you need to stay up later to get your stuff ready for tomorrow? Do you need to go grocery shopping? What do you need to do to make that plan a reality? And then schedule yourself in. It's so important that we put ourselves first. And it's not selfish to put ourselves first. We're going to talk about that in a future video, but you want to put yourself first. We show up for meetings and appointments and friends and family, and we do things for other people. We got to do things for ourselves too. So schedule yourself in. Look at your calendar. Where can you fit it in? Do you need to blend extra dressing so you have lunch the next day so you don't have to do the prep for that part? Or can you chop extra salad so you have dinner when you get home? What do you need to do to make this a reality? And then schedule yourself in and show up for yourself as you would showing up for work or an important meeting or a dentist appointment or whatever it is. Show up for yourself and value the time that you're spending for yourself as much as you would for other people. Which leads us into the second top reason why people tend to struggle moving over to a raw diet is if they're not planning, they may not be eating enough. That is so important on a raw diet because fruits and vegetables are low in calorie density. We have to eat more of them to get enough calories, enough energy to sustain us through the day. We should be eating our BMR plus activity. So usually that looks like our BMR, whatever that number is for you, plus around 500 calories extra to compensate for working and talking and doing your chores and running errands and playing around with your kids or whatever it is, including exercise as well. If you're more active, you may need to increase that to 700 extra calories or more on top of your BMR. Your BMR, I like to call it your bare minimum requirement because that's what we need at rest, at complete rest, just to run normal body functions. So if we are not eating enough, we're skipping meals, we're not planning, we're going too long without eating, or we're eating smaller portions, we may be under eating. And over time, this causes a lot of cravings. We feel lethargic, we feel tired, we might be noticing symptoms of strange things because of maybe nutritional deficiencies are starting to appear. It's super important to make sure that we eat enough calories so that we can curb our cravings, so that we can feel energetic, so that we can continue on a raw diet. So learning about how much we need is really important too. That's why I recommend using Chronometer to track your calories just in the beginning. It doesn't have to be like a lifelong crutch. You don't have to do it every single day of your entire life, but learn about how much you need as a raw vegan so that you get a good idea of the volume of food that is necessary to sustain you. Also, keeping a combination of fruits and vegetables, valuing them both equally, having lots of salads and smoothies and fruit bowls and all kinds of stuff. Having fruit as snacks is really beneficial as well, but making sure that we eat enough. That's why we want to plan. If we plan and schedule, then we can make sure that we get enough food for the entire day so that we can eat enough and feel satiated. And this can really, really help us stay on a raw diet. The third thing would probably be the social aspect. I find so many people feel alone, they feel bullied or judged or misunderstood because they just simply want to choose something healthier for themselves in the midst of an unhealthy world. So this can be super challenging, especially if your loved ones, the people who are closest to you in your circle, don't support you. And this is probably, I would say, one of the most challenging things because planning you can do. Scheduling yourself in, you can do. Yes, it's hard with the time and remembering to plan and all that stuff, but that's a habit that you can build. Eating enough, that's easy if you like to eat. And once you learn how much you need, getting enough can be an easy thing. But the social thing is probably the most challenging because we can't control other people. We can only control ourselves and what we choose for ourselves. It's so hard not to expect other people to support us in the healthy things that we're trying to do. And what I've noticed is that most people who are judgmental or make jokes or don't support us, it's really about them. It's not necessarily about you and your choices. It's about how they see your choices. It's like a mirror, and they're seeing their choices reflected back through that mirror. And if they're seeing you choose a salad and they're choosing a bag of potato chips or takeout food, inside them, they may be thinking, I should probably be doing that, and that she's probably judging me. And usually when people say that you're judging me for eating that whatever I want, we aren't judging people. That's not what we're doing. We're trying to just choose healthy things for ourselves. If a person feels judged by someone else, it's usually a projection. They are actually judging themselves, or they're assuming that you are judging them when you aren't at all. You're just trying to choose something differently. But they might say something like, I feel judged by you. And it's like, well, but I'm not judging you. And no matter how much you communicate that to them, no matter how much you explain that, your choices are your choices and it's totally cool, we can just continue going on. You can order what you want at the restaurant. I'm going to order what I want at the restaurant, or I'm going to make my own food, or I'm going to bring my own stuff, has no reflection on your choices. no matter how many times you try to tell somebody that, they're still going to feel judged if they are judging themselves subconsciously based on your choice, because they might feel like they need to change as well. They might be scared to change. They might not want to change. They might want things to go back the way they were when you ate those things with them as well. There's all these things going on within them that has nothing to do with you. So it does take time to realize that fact and just kind of let it roll off your back, because it does feel uncomfortable to be in a situation where people are saying things or judging you openly, debating you on every little thing. It can be very challenging. So unfortunately, there's no real big solution for this except focusing on what you are doing for yourself, focusing on your choices and the things that you want for your body and your health. And yes, people are going to say things. People are always going to say things, no matter what. So finding peace in your own choices in the midst of this world can be helpful. But again, it takes practice, it takes time, it takes consistency in choosing the things that you're doing. And hopefully with time, this is the benefit to being consistent and saying no when offered those other foods or what have you, is many people that we might not even think would ever come to our way of life or make the same choices as we are. Some people actually do see how you're changing and how you're feeling and how energetic you are and how consistent you are. And they might think, I want to do that too. And with the slow and consistent choices that you make, that might inspire them to start embracing it as well. I've heard many stories of this happening. You know, just being consistent with your own choices can be very inspirational to those around you, even though it might not seem that way. So thank you so much for joining me for this first video for Vlogmas. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like videos like this, please click like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to check out our ebooks. They are 40% off with code RAWFOOD40 at checkout. And don't forget to join us over in the Raw Food Romance online community. It's so much fun over there. We're doing monthly raw food classes, grow-alongs. There's recipes in there, and especially community. So if you need that community, if you want people around you that will support you, we are all there in the community to support each other. And I'm super active in there. I try to answer every single thing I can. And it's been so much fun. So join that. The links for everything are in the description box below. So I will see you tomorrow for another video, or I might see you in the community or on social media. Much love to you, and fruit on.